Hello, guys, welcome back to another podcast of The Jay Thakkar Show. First of all, wishing you all a very, very happy Teachers' Day. Hello, sir, how are you?
Excellent, Jay. How are you?
I'm great, sir. So, first of all, let me introduce you. We have Mr. Agnolo Rajesh, who is chairman of St. Angelo's VNCT Ventures. And Sir has a big dream of making India a global superpower, and that's why we have called him on the Jay Thakkar show to share his knowledge, share his vision on how to make India the next global superpower. So, welcome on the Jay Thakkar show, sir.
Thank you so much, Jay. This is a lovely initiative, and youngsters like you can definitely change this world to be a better place.
Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, in this podcast where we have been we will talk about the roadmap of being a global superpower. So, what initiative does youth have to take, and what kind of mindset should we have to set our first step towards being a global superpower?
First and foremost, we need to definitely have a growth mindset, and secondly, we need to have a global mindset. So let us understand one thing, Jay, that there are no geographical boundaries in this world today. We are all living in two kinds of worlds. One is the conventional world where we meet and greet each other personally, and secondly is the digital world where we are global citizens. You don't need a passport or you don't need a flight to take, and you can be connected to anybody in the world in any part of the world. So let us have broader horizons where for us the whole world is one single country. So no geographical boundaries, no cultural differences, no language challenges, because today with technology you can speak any language. You don't have to know that language or learn that language, but you can still communicate with anybody and everybody across the world. That's made possible by the world of technology. So I feel these are very exciting times, and what we need to be understanding is that we need to be connected to every single human being in the 7 billion population of the world, and that's the opportunities that we need to tap into and look at.
Wow, sir, beautiful, sir. And sir, today being Teachers' Day, so first of all, happy Teachers' Day to you, sir. And there are many things which I've heard that teachers play a very important role in being in making the correct foundation of the country. So, how teachers have to change their teaching, or what teachers have to do to create a very firm foundation for youths to learn and grow and develop India into a global superpower?
You have a teacher in your outer world, which is a teacher that we are used to, especially in India, where when we go into the four walls of a classroom, we see a teacher standing in front of us and teaching us. The second teacher is today found on YouTube, where through technological based videos, there are people who are actually teaching you on new topics in two ways. One is you listen to their recorded videos and you learn from them. And second is teachers today come online in any part of the world and they teach you. And there are hundreds and thousands of people in the live learning methodology where they are learning. Education has transformed. It has changed continuously, and it has changed a lot drastically, especially during the current times of the pandemic. And education is today at a completely different level altogether. But let us understand one more thing, that we need to have a teacher who inspires us, who motivates us. Education is no more a forced format of knowledge. Education is something where a self-motivated student goes ahead and educates himself on the content or the knowledge that he aspires to learn. At the same time, we also have a teacher within ourselves teaching ourselves, because understand one thing, the maximum communication that we do is self talks. We talk to ourselves. Whenever we think about something, we are actually communicating with ourselves. We need to teach ourselves with the right thoughts, the right vibrations, the right thought processes, and we need to have the right manifestations in place. So we are a teacher even to ourselves. At the same time, I firmly believe in Guru Vidya. You need to have a Dronacharya in life. There are two formats of Dronacharyas. One Dronacharya where the Dronacharya knows that you are there, his Eklavya, and another Dronacharya where the Dronacharya doesn't know that you are the Eklavya, but as an Eklavya, you know that that person is the Dronacharya, which means you admire people that you like and you follow in their footsteps. You might like them in the line of your hobbies, you might like them in the line of your career, you might like them in the line of your goal setting or your vision or mission in life. So you are always constantly learning somebody. A teacher plays a very critical role. Even our parents are our teachers. They teach us values of life. They teach us philosophy of life. They teach us how to live well in this world and how to be contributive and supportive to the other human beings in this world. So every person other than you are a teacher to you in the external world. and you are a teacher to yourself because you control your own thoughts and you filter your own thoughts on the way you are being cultured right from your childhood. So we need to be cautious and careful about that. Also remember, even on the last date of retirement, Sachin Tendulkar still had a batting coach. Now, for the rest of the world, you might think that Sachin Tendulkar is the greatest batsman ever born in the cricketing world, but even then, he had a coach. You need to have somebody externally who can identify your strengths, point out your weaknesses, identify your weaknesses to you, and help you to overcome those weaknesses. So, a teacher plays a very critically important role. Till yesterday, the education was restricted only to exams, Jay. But no more is education restricted only to exams. Now, these are the times of automated training technology days where technology will make you understand how much you are learning and what is your strong points and what are your weak points. Today, a teacher is in a position to understand how much the student is understanding from their teaching. And this can be monitored with the help of technology so that the pace of teaching or the pace of learning can be fine-tuned according to the absorbing capability of an individual student. This was not possible till yesterday, but today a teacher with the intervention of technology can help you to do that. So it's going to be a very changed scenario as far as education is concerned. And like I said, these are very interesting and exciting times, Jay.
Yes, 100%. And also the reforms in education policy which we have received in few months ago, that even the education from lower standards, they are going to students are getting more, will get more and more exposure to different fields, and they will get more and more options to opt different subjects. And the second question comes is, sir, what youth should bring change in terms of their perspective towards teaching? Because when you were kids, or when our elder generation were students, they had a different perspective towards teacher, where they see teacher as person who is just teaching us, and then we go home, we forget everything. But nowadays, making relationships with teacher, making good bonds in classroom, that has been a very major role in changing students' life. So what youth should change in their perspective and behavior to create a more positive and a productive atmosphere in classroom?
So, Jay, the syllabus for everybody has changed. Let us not classify education to what you are learning for your career. The real education in today's times is life lessons. You need to be street smart, you need to be knowledgeable, you need to have global knowledge. You need to go beyond what the teacher is trying to teach you, because today the tools are available where you can learn beyond the syllabus that is being trained and taught to you. What you are actually going to learn from your formal education is skill sets to do a particular activity. But in life, what's more important and most important is life skills. You need to understand life on a broader perspective, beyond the boundaries of the qualification that you are undergoing. Many a times today and in the near future, it will happen that the qualification that you have taken might not necessarily be your career path in the future. The career path might be totally different from the qualification that you have taken. So you need to be open to those changes, and you need to have flexibility in mind for making it happen. So I feel you need to be very flexible in your mind. Things are changing at a very rapid pace. What needs to happen is you need to build your capabilities. And I would love to repeat it 1,000 times and 1,000,000 times that we are global citizens. We are not local citizens at all. We should not think in terms of the city we live in, the state we live in, or the country that we live in. That's going to be our brand. Like for us, India is our proud brand. We are Indians. We are very absolute proud Indians. But we are here to serve a service and a product to the rest of the world. Our market is the 7 billion population of the world. Where do we come from? Yes, we are Indians. We come from India. Then it might be a state, it might be a city, it might be a village. That's a different story. It can boil down to the pin code that you come from. That's a different story. But our purpose of life, our mindset should be a growth mindset where we are here to serve the whole universe. And this is what is required. Now, this is not qualification or education in a classroom. This is a mind shift change. We need to look into the future. We need to pave a way where we can create history rather than reading created history. Every Indian citizen today needs to be qualified and become competent and become capable, not only to read history that others have created, but to create history for others to read and put India more powerfully on the global map. And that will definitely make India as an absolute global superpower.
Wow, so beautifully presented. And next question is, sir, what difficulties are we gonna face during this whole journey? Because many people I have seen that they start their journey, they start as a mission to promote India and in India and in international market. But when they start facing those first and second phases of difficulties, they take step backs, or they just put a full stop to their journey. So, what kind of problems are we going to face, and how can we overcome them?
We will never face problems in life, Jay. We will face challenges which need to be solved, and that is what is life all about. A life without a challenge is a boring life. So challenges will be there, but those are going to be your opportunities. In life, obstacles becomes your opportunities. So we should always welcome obstacles, solve them, convert them into opportunities, and move forward. People should not give up. So a man is does not lose till he raises his hands and gives up. He is not dead till he gives up. So you should not give up at all. Difficulties, I would not like to use the word problems. I would not like to use the word difficulties. I would love to use the word challenges, because every challenge is a reason for us to create solutions. So we need to solve that, and we need to move forward. We need to focus ourselves completely in resource building from a very young age. The resources in our lives are in plenty. We need to identify them. We need to recognize them. We need to connect with them. People with the right resources are the people who create history. All the successful people in this world had right resources in place and the knowledge on how to connect those resources and utilize those resources. And that's the reason why they became so successful. So if you take in consideration the top 10 richest and most successful people in the world, these are all the people who thought the whole world to be a small village, and they reached out to every human being on planet Earth and made them their customer. Whether it is Amazon, whether it is Netflix, whether it is Warren Buffett, whether it is Bill Gates, everybody thought in that particular fashion. The one gentleman from India who's making us proud and reaching to the world is definitely Mukesh Ambani, but he too is into products and services today which will reach the whole world. Like Jio is connecting India to the rest of the world. So everybody needs to have connectivity, physical connectivity, spiritual connectivity, logical connectivity, digital connectivity, but the word to move forward is connectivity. A person with the right connections will have solutions to every challenge that he will face. So never giving up is one attitude that we need to build, and that attitude can be built by playing sports right from a very young age and trying to make sure that the difficulty level, which I called as a challenge, should excite you and should trigger you to make the best performance from yourself. Every human being born has super potential, and very sad to say that we don't even consume 15 to 20% of the potential that we have. Each one of us has the potential to become Alexander the Great, or a Newton, or a Warren Buffett, or a Bill Gates, but we give up. That is the challenge. So if you don't give up, if you grow amongst positive thinking people, if you grow amongst people who have got the resources which can come to your help or your assistance for your growth, and if you become a ladder for the others will become a ladder for you, and you can really grow well, not only in personal life, professional life, but also in the business enterprise, and also boost up the economy of the wonderful country that we live in, that is India. So it is all the attitude that matters. And let me tell you, Jay, at a very young age, what you're doing is really remarkable. But attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. And your attitude will define and decide the altitude that you will reach in life for yourself, for the society that you come from, and for the country that you're working for.
Thank you so much, sir. And I want to emphasize more on the connectivity part, which you said that we need to create connectivity, physical connectivity, spiritual connectivity, virtual connectivity. So can you please explain more on this that connectivity part?
So every youngster like you should strive to build resources across the world by maintaining a relationship with all. And no more do you need to maintain a relationship by meeting a person in person. Like when I was child, when I was in school many years back in the 80s, at that point of time, we had a concept called pen pals. In pen pals, we used to write letters to students from the other countries, and we used to make friends with them. But today, at the flick of a button, you can reach anybody and everybody across the world, irrespective of the distance. It doesn't matter at all. The new friend that you're creating might be living in your next building, or might be living in a building which is a couple of 1,000 kilometers away from your country or your city. That doesn't matter at all. With these kind of tools in hand, you need to create content on the social media and digital media where you can do your mind share. When you build your mindshare quotient on the social media, people will get connected with you, and that becomes your resource for any thought that you want others to support you to prosper. So you need to keep on building at all possible times. You need to keep on building a network. At the same time, you should also build your conventional network in the city that you live, so that you are always having a powerful backup with you for whatever you aim to achieve in life. But the reach that will come to you will be with the help of the digital world. So you need to have similar thinking people. And today everything is so easy. There are groups which are formed for some specific goals, and you can become a part of that goal and do your mind share there, and attract people to the level of intelligence that you will exhibit and the knowledge that you will share, which will bring people within your circle of influence or trust. And then you need to leverage it for mutual growth. When you give is when you get, and when you give more, you get it unlimited. So I think that should be the way of life, and that should become the culture of your life to way forward.
Great, sir. And coming to the main entrepreneurial part of it, where people are telling that India is gonna be next startup hub, next business hub of the world. So talking about entrepreneurship and you being an angel investor, so what kind of startups or companies attracts you, and when you get attracted to them by saying that I want to invest in these kind of companies, or I want to invest in this startup, this person. So what fascinates you for investing, and what kind of startups should India need to boost themselves in every field possible?
So, Jay, what is critically more important is the entrepreneur himself, his enthusiasm level, his knowledge quotient, his sharing habits. How does he want to share his success with the rest of the world? Those are very critical. Domain knowledge is very, very critical. But what's more important is how scalable is the activity that you're engaged or involved with. Scalability is critically important. How you can reach maximum number of people, whether the product or service that you're providing is restricted and limited to a particular audience only, or it can be scaled up to unlimited level, like a Facebook, like a Google, like a Microsoft. You get me? So how far you can reach is going to be critically important, and that will create an attraction for the investor like me to invest in that particular company. So the integrity of the entrepreneur, the focus of the entrepreneur, the background of the entrepreneur, his willingness to scale, his willingness to spread, his willingness to learn, his willingness to adapt. These are some of the qualities which will excite and interest a person like me, and that's what I always keep looking out for. So that is very critically important, and it needs to create an impact. So whatever moves me today is the quantum of impact an entrepreneur can create, and social entrepreneurs is what the world is looking at, and that is also what I am always looking at. So profits are secondary, but impact is primary. For me, what holds most important importance in my life for making a decision on where to invest and with whom to invest is, what is the impact that you're going to bring into the society? What is the change that you're going to bring into the society? What is the problem that you're going to solve in the society? What is the pain that you're going to solve in the society? So all these elements are critically important. Profitability, numbers, growth factors, that is the secondary aspect. What is first and most important for me is what is the impact that you will create. That is what is going to be exciting and interesting for a person like me.
Wow, sir. And what are the different fields where Indian youth can go for starting their entrepreneurial journey?
So one of the ex-prime ministers of India very famously said that IT is India's today, IT is India's tomorrow, and IT is India's territory. In fact, all the developed countries of the world gained tremendously when we had a concept of brain drain, where the best brains of the country left India for greener pastures, and they went into developed countries, and they developed corporates and large companies in those developed countries to become bigger. Whether you talk about Amazon or Microsoft or Apple, all these organizations have a sizable population of Indian best brains, which help them to grow and reach where they are today. So whether it is Satya Nadella or the other gentleman from Chennai for Google, everybody are Indians, and technology will be a powerful domain for Indians. That is what we are known for, and that is what we will be taking it forward. India will also be becoming a manufacturing hub for the rest of the world. India is also a great land for agricultural development, which is going to be happening in the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So the next 50 years are going to be the golden years for India as a country, and we will see a lot of changes happening. The world will look towards India as a land of opportunities, and the investments from the developed countries is going to flow into India for various reasons which are happening currently, and a lot of economical decisions are being changed by countries who were constantly focusing for the last 30 years or 40 years into China. The same people are now looking towards India as a land of opportunity. So I feel that there is a lot of inflow of resources, technology, money, and opportunities which is going to invade India, and Indians are going to be absolutely taking advantage of the situation and indulging themselves into practices which will support the rest of the world. And that's one of the strong reasons why India is going to be a superpower. So the sectors that India is going to flourish is technology, pharma sector, manufacturing sector, agriculture sector, and education sector. So these are the five sectors that I see a lot of promise happening. When I talk about five sectors, these five sectors will be having 500 or 1,000 sectors amongst themselves also. So all those sectors are going to be flourishing a lot. Health and wellness is going to be definitely a very powerful and impactful sector, which we are already witnessing in the current times, and also in the future that's going to be critically important.
Yes, 100%, sir. And from me being a science geek, I have also seen a lot of development in research and R&D part of the country, where when I had a talk with Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, sir, he said that when India was golden bird, India was golden bird because of its research and development. And now, if India again wants to become that golden bird, or want to become a global superpower, the main core will lie in research and development of the sector. And I have also seen many inflow of money in research and development sector, and even when we talk about the health and care, we have seen a increase in amount of labs in our country. We have seen increase in amount of pharmas, as you said, because of COVID-19, and that's what I want to add upon, because I am in the science field, and that's what I have seen, and I just want to add upon. And the second question is parents' generation, which presently is seen as very confusing state for youth, because many youth they get humongous support from their parents like me, and second part of the youth is where they get resistance from their parents. So what mentality should parents have to support youth, and as well as to secure the future of youth as well?
So the name that you said, Dr. Radhakrishna Pillai, is definitely a very, very close friend of mine, and one of the most intelligent people that the country has on the knowledge of Chanakya and how Chanakya Niti can be implemented in personal, professional, business, and social life. So I have a lot of regards and respect to what he has achieved in the domain that he is known for, that is the Chanakya and Chanakya Niti. So he's doing some brilliant work. Parenting, Jay, is a very critical aspect. In fact, I have launched a platform with Leena Asher, who's one of the prominent educators of India, who brought international education to the country in the early 90s. And we are partnered together on a company called Corroboree. And we are going to be the first platform which is going to be professionally getting involved with parenting. All successful people in this world who were ever born, about whom we read in the history books and who keep making news, are all people who had brilliant parents. So the success does not go only to them, but the success goes because of the parenting that they experience. So parenting is a very deep science, and there is a lot of methodology which needs to be implemented for parenting to happen in the right way, so that they cultivate and culture their child in a growth mindset which will contribute to the history of this world, because they will create milestones. So parenting is definitely one area in our country which is lagging behind, because there is no formal support for the right parenting to happen. So that's a evolving zone, and that is being evolving now. And parents also have started understanding the role that they need to play in a child's development, so that he can be contributive to the society and to the country that he belongs to. So I think these are changing times, even that is changing. But students who are wishful to achieve more, they need to take an initiative to convince their parents. Let us understand one thing. If we can convince the parents at home, we can convince anybody in this world. So if the parents are not agreeing to your larger plans in life, probably they are not understanding it right. So it is very important for you to make them understand first, because that is the lowest hanging fruit for you. But when you can convince your parents, then you have won the biggest battle of the world, because if you can convince somebody at home, you can definitely convince anybody in the world. And that should be your first step. You should not give up on convincing your parents, but you need to be also reasonable enough to understand their expectations, explain to them your capabilities and what you are cut out for. So movies like Three Idiots made a lot of changes in this world, and a lot of parents got educated with that movie also. So there are situations that children might face, but it should be the onus of the children, without getting upset or without getting angry, they should make an effort to explain their mission and vision and their capabilities and their areas of interest to the parents. And I'm sure once they do that, the parents will cooperate and pave the way for the way the child wants to develop his career in the future.
100%, sir. And I am being lucky enough that I'm getting support from my parents, but even I have seen that whenever they feel that there's some part of concern, or where they see that I'm lagging behind, they do tell me. But sometimes even me being that youth, I sometimes neglect those parts. I sometimes think that this is a sort of resistance which I'm getting from them. But then at later stage, when I have been talking to many brilliant people like you, I have come to know that those are the parts where I have to look back and take those points and put them down here. So moving on, the next part, which is blooming, that is stock markets, finance, and if youth are getting more and more attracted towards finance. So at what stage should youth start thinking about their finances, and is investment a great thing to save your money or to grow your money?
So, Jay, investment is a very critically important word, and you should start implementing the investment angle or the thought process right from the time you start understanding the meaning of investment. Warren Buffett is Warren Buffett today because he started from his school days. Each one of us need to start from the school days on understanding the value of money and on understanding the value of investments, whether it is investing in terms of investing money into the right places, or investing your energy into the right places, or investing your education in the right way. Investment plays a very critical role. The earlier you start, the better it is. The world is very huge. The world is very competitive. And Jay, in the coming years, competition is not going to be only between two products or two companies or two countries, but competition is going to be between the skill sets and the capabilities of two human beings. And that can be anybody. It can be Jay Thakkar from India, and it might be somebody who's in America or in Japan or in Australia or in China or in Germany. It doesn't matter. So the competition is going to be between the capabilities of two human beings. The earlier you start, the stronger you are. Investments gives you the idea of the value of money, and if you start it young with your pocket money, if you invest it right, then probably you will become a better investor as the days pass by. Having great finance capabilities or finance knowledge will be helpful to you in the future, not only to shape up your personal life, but also to shape up any business that you want to start. Understanding local finance is important. Understanding how finance operates on a global scenario is important. Understanding the stock market is important. Understanding why the stock goes up or goes down, how the stock market operates, and what can you do for your enterprise when you become a business owner, on how you can drive the stock of your company better at the stock market, and how to release it in multiple countries of the world. This is something which is an area of interest for a lot of youngsters today, but they need to do a lot of research, they need to do a lot of homework, and they need to be actively participating in the changes that happen on a daily basis. We are in a very fast-paced world, so having focus and attention and being alert about these happenings will definitely teach you a lot. Like I said, you need to be a self-motivated person in the zone of development that you want to get in. The earlier you start, the better it is. According to me, what is actual knowledge that you get in the school? That is knowledge, which is very important, which you get in the four walls of a classroom or within the comforts of your bedroom, where you're learning something on the YouTube, on the laptop or the computer that you have in your bedroom. But what is more important than this particular knowledge is the wisdom. And what is wisdom? Wisdom is nothing but when you apply the knowledge that you have learned, if you apply it in the real life, it converts into wisdom, because that gives you experiences. Try to get experiences at the most possible early age. if you can join your father in what he does in the school days itself, if you get involved with community work, if you get involved with organizations like Rotary and Lions Club, if you get involved in the community services in your area, it will give you a lot of life lessons which will make you a strong entrepreneur in the future, which will make you a strong professional in the future, or which will make you a very contributive employee in the future. So I feel being young is the biggest gift one can have at that particular age. And when he grows with experience and wisdom because of the experiences, he will be a very rock solid individual as he grows up. So life lessons and experiences are most valuable apart from having education which will give you knowledge. So start as early as possible. I was fortunate to start at the age of 13, and I just pray that all others also start at the age of 13, 14, 15, 10, 11, whatever. But try to start as early as possible, and that becomes your backbone of growth, and that becomes a strong story for you to understand about life, understanding life, and how to take it forward.
Beautiful, sir. Beautiful. And also one major thing which I have seen in youth is that when they see something fascinating like stock market, when people are telling that invest in stock, they are low now. So they don't do research. They find it fascinating. They go behind it, and when they lose something, they start backbitching it, or they say that this is not good, or you should not go in this way. So how can one understand that what kind of research one should do, and if one is fascinated by something, then up to what level he or she should go to touch it, to experience it, and when to stop as well?
So life is all about a balancing game. How much you should do of what needs to be understood well. And people who fail or people who lose money, that is the tuition fee that they have paid for a shortcut that they tried to achieve. So there is nothing to regret about it. And you should, how much you should gamble in life. Stock market is a lot about right decisions, wrong decisions, right timing, wrong timing, and all of that. But you learn all of this only out of experience. So you need to be there to do that, and you need to do that to learn that. So people who lose money are actually paying tuition fees in a very different format. Always remember one thing: whatever done in balance, in the right proportion, is very helpful to your life. And if there is an imbalance, then the law of nature teaches you a lesson which will put you in balance. That's why I said the earlier that you start, the better off you will be, because at the early stage, your absorbing capability and capacity of a shock is much higher than at a later age in life, when responsibilities add up to your shoulders and your burden increases. So the younger you are, the better off you would be, because you are cushioned in your young days. There are parents to protect you, there are siblings to protect you, there are friends to protect you. So take advantage of that. It's like a 20-20 match. In the first 6 overs, you get the liberty to hit the ball for maximum runs, because only 2 fielders are allowed beyond the 30-meter mark. So score the maximum possible, take the maximum risk in the first beginning overs of your life. And afterwards, when the players spread out in the field, then you need to play the cautious shots. And these cautious shots come out of the experience of the mistakes or the wisdom that you created in the early overs of your life. So balancing is something that the life teaches you along the way. And there is no fixed formula to that. There is no precautionary measures to that. Only that you need to be cautious and you need to be aware. And at every possible day in your life, you need to keep doing your SWOT analysis of what is your strength, what is your weakness, what are your opportunities, and what are the possible threats which might damage you or harm you physically, psychologically, spiritually, or financially. If you keep doing your SWOT analysis once in a week or every day or once in a month or once in a year, it will tell you the direction in which you need to travel. Jay, always remember one thing. In life, in which direction you need to travel is most critical. If you are traveling in a wrong direction, then whatever is the speed of your travel, you are never going to reach your destination. But if you are traveling in the right direction, then whatever is the speed, however slow it is, you will ultimately reach your goal and your destination, and you can increase your speed at a later date. So finding the right direction at a very young age is very critically important. Also, cultivate a habit of validating your decisions. Always cultivate a habit of validating whatever you are doing in life. There is no harm in validating. But if you are validating what you have taken as a decision from the people who have already done what you intend to do, then probably you will be advised or you will be guided in the right direction. And once you get the direction, then you can become a Sachin Tendulkar or a Dhoni or a Virat Kohli or a Michael Schumacher and be successful in life and be a history creator in your life or whatever you're planning to do.
Wow, sir. Uh, it was really numbing for me. And moving on to the next part, where the spirituality part of India is spreading across the globe, where people are learning that yoga, meditation, and those all things are biologically beneficial for us. So, what do you think? What do you think that people who are into the spiritual world, people who are there in gurus or people who are starting their journey, their spiritual journey. So, can there be a sort of business strategy or entrepreneurial strategy where people can make and provide the service of spirituality to the world? And can that be scalable as well?
So, Jay, India is a very emotional country. All Indians are very emotional people. That's why we have the concept of families. That's why we believe in living together. It is not that once you become 18, then you get a separate house, separate car, separate life. No. And you visit your parents once in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, or a year. No. India is an absolutely closely knitted family. India is a emotional country. We believe in living together. We believe in being family together. Our biggest export and our gift to the world is spirituality. It's yoga, it's meditation. These were all Indian inventions which has really transformed the world. Spirituality has also become a good business model. A product or a service which can add value to the life of the people is the best business to do. If you understand spirituality and if you can convert it into a product or a service, nothing wrong. Because there are a lot of people in this world which need spirituality as a product as well. To become successful in life, you need to be soul satisfied. And you can be soul satisfied only if you are spiritual in nature. And your spirituality will be reflected in the behavior. It will be reflected in your product. It will be reflected in your thought process. It will be reflected in your services. So a spiritually aligned person will always be a social entrepreneur. And a social entrepreneur is somebody who is solving the problems in the society. When you solve the problems in the society, the whole society becomes your supporter and they take the responsibility of your growth in whichever direction you want. So spirituality definitely does play a very important role in the lives of people, especially Indians. And I'm very happy to say that Indians are really spreading it well across the world. Yoga today is an Indian brand which is adopted by the developed countries so aggressively and so passionately. So it is a matter of pride for us that we exported yoga to the rest of the world. In the coming days, a blend of spirituality along with business sense and a blend of social entrepreneurship is the way forward for every single Indian and for Indians across the world. So I feel that social entrepreneurship with a blend of spirituality is the best blend of an entrepreneur that the world can have to make this world a better place. Meditation cools down the person, makes him more human, makes him take logical decisions, takes away anger from them because anger does nothing but destroy the person who has that anger. So meditation, spirituality, yoga, a healthy body, a healthy mind, these are all ingredients of a successful human being, and that's what is happening currently. Especially in the last 7 months, a lot of people that I know who are not spiritual have become spiritual. They have started speaking philosophy also in their communication because when you feel that the world is becoming so unpredictable, that is when you become closer to God, you become closer to your whichever God you follow, you become closer to spirituality, you become closer to bonding with other unknown people and known people, and you also start doing yoga so that your immunity levels are better to fend against any virus or any pandemic of any nature.
100%, sir. And also you have been a living example from rat to riches. So what are important lessons which you have learned from doing data entry to chairman of St. Angelo's VNCT Ventures?
So Jay, earn people. Money will come automatically. Never have the focus of earning money. The day you have focus of only earning money, you'll still earn it, but it will be only money. You need to be wealthy, not rich. When Amitabh Bachchan's house was on auction in the early 2000, at that time, if he would have been rich, he would have really lost it. But he is a wealthy man, so he earned back all the money that he had lost by the enterprise that he had started. And today Amitabh Bachchan is Amitabh Bachchan again. So always in life, you need to be wealthy, not rich. People who are wealthy, they are wealthy because they have money, of course, but they have lots of people in their lives. They are the ladders of their life, which allow them and support them to climb back to the original glory that they would have been at. So always strive towards earning people, and automatically you will start earning money. Money should be a byproduct, not your core focus. Your focus should be product and services and to serve the world. That is what will help you. I was blessed to have a very challenging economic background, Jay, and I realized very early in life that the value of money is only if people value you. If people value you, you'll get plenty of opportunities to earn a lot of money, and without focusing on that money, you'll still have a very healthy bank account and an asset account in your life. So that's what I did. That's what lots of people, lakhs of people like me do. And our focus is on relationships that we have built. I strongly believe that relationship is the only ship that never sinks. It will always keep you afloat, and you can tide through any storms. And many a times I have personally witnessed in my life where money has failed, but a relationship has helped. So that was being the success formula for me, for my story, from a challenging economic background to where we have reached today. And life is all about connecting the dots backwards. So whatever was the scarcity in my life, in my childhood, it is the same number of businesses that I do. So I didn't have a comfortable house, so I'm a real estate developer. I could not afford education, so I came into education business in a very, very big way. I could not afford good clothes, so I've invested in the fashion industry. I could not buy jewelry for my parents at a time when I was small, for my mother, so I'm into the business of jewelry also. I did not have time to play sports in my childhood because I was working from a very early age. So I've invested in sports. So life is all about connecting the dots backwards. The famous words of Steve Jobs, that you will be surprised how life spans out, and whatever was your scarcity or lacuna in your childhood automatically becomes a business model if you're conscious about it, if you focus on it, if you think about it, and if you make it happen for the others and helping them for a better journey of life and not allowing them to suffer the way you did in your childhood. So I feel life is the best teacher of life, and if you can monitor and understand where you were, what you wanted to do, and where you have reached, and never forgetting your roots from where you came, then probably you don't need more teachers. Your life itself is a very powerful teacher to take you on the right path and keep you motivated to achieve more, so that you can add more products and services and connect to more number of people and add value to their lives.
Beautiful, so beautiful. And one thing which I have noticed that I have noticed this in very few people, and I want to ask this question to you because I have seen you, I have heard you, and in our previous conversations and in now today's conversation as well, that that many people have those shifts. When they talk about motivation, they get high energy, and when they talk about the rough part of their lives, they slightly go for. But you have been in these this constant moderate state, and that thing fascinates me because I see that I lack that phase. So what has made you to be so stable, so calm, and what points can you give us to be like that?
So Jay, I never forget my roots. I never forget my friends. And these two are very important qualities for any human being to have. Also, I never stop learning. You can learn from anybody and everybody. My driver also has taught me so much. So everybody around you is your teacher. So you need to keep learning, and you need to have a very observant mind. An observant mind is learning all the time, and that is critically important. When you don't forget your roots, you will really feel thankful to God that He has given you opportunities to travel such a beautiful journey of life. When you are humble is when people respect you, when people connect with you, and they create your growth story. Always remember, Jay, in life, you should always think yourself of catching a local train in Mumbai. You don't need muscles to climb into a Mumbai train. You just have to go and stand in the crowd. That crowd will pick you up and take you inside the compartment. And you just need to maneuver yourself well so that the same crowd will not put you down at the wrong station. But if you maneuver yourself well, the same people will pick you up and again bring you down to the platform that you want to reach. So when we depend on people, The people take responsibility of making you successful. When you are humble, when you are rooted, when you are grounded, when you are connected with lots of people in your life, trust me, Jay, it's a beautiful experience and I live it and I love it. And what I get is what I give. So it's a fabulous feeling, Jay. We need to be grounded, rooted, humble, and we need to keep earning people. Trust me, money will come on its own. Just earn relationships, earn the trust of people, make people a part of your life, always be the giver, and you will get multifold.
Wow, sir. That's really mind-numbing advice which you have given. And so, sir, how did you enjoy this podcast? How was this podcast? And what things, what personal things which you want to share to me, or you want to advise to me?
So, Jay, this is a brilliant initiative. India's future depends on youngsters like you. There are elder people like us who can always create a strong support mechanism around youngsters like you. But I see the country's future in people like you who have taken the initiative and who are so thought-provoking with your thoughts. Like your questions were interesting, very intelligent. There are three types of people that I know in this world, Jay. There are people who listen through their right ear and leave it from their left ear. There are people who listen through the right ear and don't even allow to travel it to the left ear. They leave it from the right ear itself. And there are people who listen from the right ear and they block it here. And those people who block it in their mind, and if they implement it, they are the people who will create history for this world. They are the people who will create lovely stories for this great country called India. So it is very critically important to implement what you listen to. No idea is good enough if it is not implemented. You will get a lot of brilliant ideas, but you need to implement them to be successful in life. What I feel is you need to have a growth map. You need to have a life plan. You need to have a plan which is divided into multiples of 5 years. You need to understand what is the larger goal in your life and how you are going to achieve it. You need to create a flow chart of how you are going to travel in your life, and then keep measuring it. Whether are you traveling in the right direction? Is your pace correct? Do you need to speed up? What additional resources do you want? If you can mark it, you will win it. Always have a fixed goal set. If there is a moving goal post, you will never reach the destination. You need to understand where you can kick the ball and hit a goal. With a moving goal post, you will never be able to hit a goal. So you need to be firm in your plans, flexible if required, but you need to be firm in your plans, and you need to understand your personal SWOT all the time. And this SWOT analysis keeps changing over a period of time. So always keep rechecking. It's like a health checkup. You cannot be healthy one day and not check yourself for the next 10 years. You need to do a health checkup once in a year. Similarly, you need to understand your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats at least once in a year, so that you ensure that you're traveling in the right direction.
So another beautiful and mind-numbing advice from you, sir. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast and sharing your vision and giving us right directions to step in for making this beautiful country global superpower. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Jay. I wish you all the best. I pray for your success. Make India proud and be successful in life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.